has kept his flag down, and here's Osgood, and here's Hutchinson, and it's a goal by Ian Hutchinson!
He didn't take corners, he didn't shoot from 30 yards, he didn't beg for cameras. Ian Hutchinson. He threw harder than anyone, further than the game had ever seen. One throw, one flick, one header, Chelsea's first FA Cup. But when the medals were handed out, his name wasn't. Not in chance, not in bronze, not in memory. He gave them that final. He gave them those goals. He gave them everything he had until his knees shattered, his body gave in, and football moved on. No statue, no banner, no tribute, just silence. He didn't fade, he was discarded. But not here. Not now. Because before the trophies, before the billion-pound shine, before Chelsea sold the dream, there was Hutchinson, the thrower, the bruiser, the forgotten heart of a golden team. Subscribe if you believe the men who made moments should never be erased by the ones who marketed them. Born in Derbyshire in 1948, some records say August 4th, others October 31st, a working-class lad raised in the hard north. No privilege, no promise, just rain-soaked pitches and a will to run through anything. He didn't come through the top academies, didn't wear the badge young. He started in the shadows playing Southern League football with Cambridge United outside the Football League. No floodlights, no scouts, just fight. But one man saw what others didn't. Dave Sexton, Chelsea's sharp-eyed manager. He didn't want polish, he wanted muscle. And in Hutchinson, he found it. July 1968. Chelsea signed him from Cambridge. He was 19, no headlines, just a handshake and a shot at glory. And he took it. Hutchinson was a powerful centre-forward, not polished, but relentless. Built for collisions, not headlines. By the 1969-70 season, he wasn't just surviving in the squad, he was battering defences beside Osgood. 22 goals in 38 appearances, long throws like rockets, headers like punches, a centre-forward built for war. He wasn't elegant, wasn't pretty, but when the whistle blew, he was hell to play against. They had their artist in Osgood, but Hutchinson, he was the noise that followed the brushstroke, the chaos, the strength, the player you hated facing and loved having. And that season, he wasn't backing up the stars. He was one of them. They were nothing alike, and that's what made them deadly. Peter Osgood, the artist, graceful, smooth, the king of Stamford Bridge. He floated past defenders like he owned the grass beneath them. Ian Hutchinson, the hammer, broad-shouldered, mud-caked, built like a lock. He didn't glide, he crushed. Together, they were the storm. Centre-backs couldn't cope. One danced, one collided. If Osgood didn't beat you, Hutchinson ran through you. It wasn't just talent, it was timing. 1969-70 season. Chelsea scored 84 goals in all competitions. Between them, Hutchinson and Osgood carried the frontline muscle and magic in perfect balance. Old fans still say we had the best pair in the country. But one of them, they forgot. And they're right. Osgood got the glamour, got the books, got the songs. Hutchinson got the bruises, the throws, the work. He was the one who made space, took hits, won scraps. The kind of forward you built wars around, not marketing campaigns. And that throw-in, that final, Osgood scored in glory. But Hutchinson started it. Without him, there's no trophy, no parade, no memory. Chelsea never had a front line like it again. And they never gave Hutchinson the credit while he was alive. April 11th, 1970, Wembley Stadium, Chelsea vs Leeds United, FA Cup Final. A match that would go down in history for pain, for fury, for everything but beauty. The pitch was wrecked, the tackles were brutal, the ball barely rolled, and the fight never stopped. Leeds took the lead. Chelsea clawed back. Leeds again, Chelsea again, 2-2. No winner, no resolution. A replay was ordered. Chelsea's goals in the 2-2 draw came from Peter Osgood and Peter Houseman, names remembered more than the man who made the winner happen. 19 days later, April 29th, 1970. The rematch. Over 62,000 fans packed Old Trafford, the first FA Cup final replay in history. and a war that made the first game look like a handshake. Hutchinson started again. Already limping, already bruised, but still standing. He was booked in the first half, fouled harder than anyone else on the pitch, and still punished for fighting back. Then came the moment. 105th minute. Extra time. Hutchinson stepped up, took the ball in his hands. No run-up, no theatrics, just pure, violent precision. The throw left his hands like a missile. It dipped, it curled, it fell right into chaos. Tommy Baldwin flicked it. David Webb headed it. Chelsea 2-1. One throw won the FA Cup. And Hutchinson? No celebration, no interview, just another run back to the halfway line. When the whistle blew, Chelsea lifted their first ever FA Cup. Osgood got the headlines, Webb got the photo, but Hutchinson gave them the moment. The club never honored it. He was never thanked properly. Just a man with mud on his boots and history in his hands, he gave them everything, and his body gave out trying to keep up. The knees went first, then the legs, then the arm, then the hope. After the glory of 1970, the descent was brutal. 1971, broken leg, out for months. 1972, broken leg again, same spot. Pain that never left. He was also part of Chelsea's 1970-71 Cup Winners' Cup, run though injury would later keep him from Europe's biggest nights. He tried to return, he fought through it. But every time he got close, something snapped again. Cartilage damage, muscle tears, bone trauma. By 1972-73, he managed just 4 appearances. He'd go on to make around 144 appearances in all competitions for Chelsea, scoring 58 goals a return, as brutal as it was brilliant. And even then, it wasn't the Hutchinson of old. The throws had less power, the runs had more pain. But he stayed. He didn't leave. He didn't ask for pity. He kept trying to give Chelsea what he had left. Ask the old guard, they'll say Osgood floated, Hutchinson fought. We needed both. By 1976, it was over. He was 27 years old. From throwing Chelsea to glory to barely walking off the pitch. Ron Chopper Harris called him a 110% player, a man who never gave less. They let him go quietly. No farewell, no ceremony, just gone. He played a few games in non-league Dartford, Slinfold, and brief spells with Merthyr Tydfil and Wellington Town before fading from the game entirely. And then, nothing. The game that had taken everything from him had nothing left to give back. There were no millions, no media career, no safety net. When Ian Hutchinson left football, football left him. No coaching offer, no testimonial tour, no job behind the scenes, just pain, and the need to survive. He delivered furniture, did odd labor work, took what he could while his name disappeared from the game he'd helped shape. There was no bridge back to Chelsea, no calls, no reunions, no legacy work. The knees still hurt. So did the silence. And when the pain got louder, he looked for something to drown it. Alcohol, addiction, the quiet grip that takes you piece by piece. Not because he was weak, but because no one stayed with him when it all fell. He became a ghost in his own story. The throw-in king now barely remembered in pubs where the games played on, and his name never came up. He never chased attention, but even ghosts want to be seen. September 19th, 2002, Ian Hutchinson died in quiet. Alcohol-related liver disease, aged just 53, no breaking news, no front-page obituary, no club statement that shook the game, just a short line, a name, and then silence. There was no public tribute, no black armbands, just a short mention in the program and silence. No blue flags raised in his honor, no minute's applause from the club he had thrown into history. He died how he played, uncelebrated, unbranded, unprotected, and still those who knew him never forgot. Peter Osgood, his closest friend, said, "He was my best mate, he was like a brother. We called each other Bruve." But even Osgood, gone just a few years later, couldn't make the club remember in time. No statue, no stand, no place to say goodbye. A man who helped deliver Chelsea's first FA Cup left this world with barely a whisper from the place he made roar. a minute's silence was held before a UEFA Cup match, and Chelsea players wore black armbands, a quiet honor for a man the modern club barely knew. Ask the real ones, the ones who were there, the ones who remember the mud, the throws, the roar. He'll always be remembered for those monumental long throws and the part he played in our 1970 FA Cup winning side, the club wrote. A wholehearted player who gave everything in a blue shirt. Hutchinson mattered. They'll talk about the throw, about the goals, about the grit beside Osgood that made Chelsea dangerous. They won't talk about sponsorships, or kits, or what came after. They'll talk about the man who broke his body for a club that couldn't even raise a flag for him. Because modern Chelsea shines, it sells, it wins. But it forgot who helped build the soul behind the badge. There's no statue of Ian Hutchinson at Stamford Bridge, no stand in his name, no mural by the shed end, no banner raised in spring when the cup comes back around. There should be, for the man who made that first cup happen with his hands, with his fight, with his silence. Today, his image appears quietly on Chelsea's history wall, a silent nod. But no song, no headline, no home. He didn't ask for the spotlight. But legends like him shouldn't have to. Ian Hutchinson didn't just throw a football. He threw Chelsea into history. He wasn't a headline, he was the reason behind one. He wasn't the scorer, he was the cause. He didn't lift the trophy, but without him, no one does. And maybe that's what hurts most, that you can give everything, create the moment, change the club, and still be forgotten by it. But not here, not now. Because this was never about glory. It was about truth. The truth that one throw, one man's strength, grit, and silence delivered Chelsea's first FA Cup and disappeared into history's blind spot. He wasn't erased by time, he was buried by neglect. But legends don't stay buried if we refuse to let go. Say his name, Ian Hutchinson, the man who launched a goal, a trophy, a legacy, and never asked for anything back. Subscribe if you still believe that some players gave more than we'll ever understand, and deserve more than we ever gave.